today we are with Karnesh Ssharma. Karnesh Ssharma is not an unknown name for the audience who are looking for intensity in the movie. They want to see the movie at a different level. Welcome to TheBrew.
Thank you so much.
So when we are watching your movies, either it's NH10 or any other movie like Patal Lok.
Yeah.
So there is a intensity in acting, like not only acting, there's a philosophy behind it.
Yes.
So what is in your mind when you are starting a project?
I think for us the most important part is the story itself, right? What is the story trying to say? What is the bigger picture the story is trying to say? The politics of the story, the emotion of the story. Core of it, I think a strong story brings out good intensity, and for us it's that connect with the story which is pure and which then translates into the screen.
So again, one more element I have seen in your movies, that is supernatural.
Yeah.
Many movies is coming with that.
Yeah.
So how you will justify that thing?
So I think it was not a conscious decision, to be very honest. Like we said, we didn't want to be telling stories of a particular genre. It so happened that some of the stories turned out to be supernatural, but within that, if you see whether it is Phil Laurie, whether it is which was a friendly ghost, which was Pari, which was a love story between a demon and a human, right? So Bulbul of course, depicted something else, the rise of the woman and and the Kali in her, and the destroy in her. So I think all of these stories were exploring different fantastical elements. So yes, but at the core of it, they were simple, pure stories. So to answer your question, there's no certain plan to tell supernatural stories, though personally I'm a big fan of horror genre, and I think in our country we've not really done justice to it. So I think going forward you would see a lot of supernatural horror stuff from us.
Again, when you are talking about not justice, till now we haven't justice with the woman's role in our society. And in your movie we have seen always the woman's role is somehow entirely different from the trend. So what, like, how is the Anushka is influencing you somewhere?
Yes, of course. I mean, it started with her, right? When we started Clean Slate Films, it was Anushka's decision to start it, and give you a little bit of background to it. At that point of time, even before we started Clean Slate Films, we would always talk about the fact that they're not good representation of women in cinema.
Right.
The agency in a story for a woman to perform was very limited. That was something which always bothered us, both of us. And Anushka, being a very talented actor herself, we wanted to create a space where women have better representation on screen. The women have better agency in a story. They take the story forward and they champion the story. So I think with that philosophy, it was a very conscious effort to tell women's stories, and I think over a period of time we've managed to do it well. And I think going forward, that's something we want to concentrate on, because there's a lot of talent out there in our country, with respect to women, not just in acting, it is across mediums, whether it is direction, and we've worked with Anvita, who's a women's director. We work with a lot of technicians who are women, whether it is costume, whether it is music and stuff like that. So I think our focus is to tell women's stories and to form an ecosystem where women flourish and they feel safe to participate in the process of storytelling.
Great. And during COVID, we have seen the rise of OTT platform.
Yes.
And unfortunately, with the rise of OTT platform, the content, especially again the women projection, is not up to the mark. And again, whole nudity and vulgarity somehow is coming into the content. So what is your plan? How we can encounter all these things?
So I think to be very honest, you can't control what other people do, right? That's not in your control. We can only control what we want to do. So I think the primary criteria for content on OTT is to be engaging, right? Because the medium is very different. You sit in a cinema for 3 hours and you've paid 1,000-1,200 rupees, and you go with your family and it's a spend of 5,000 rupees. Even if you don't like a film, you're sitting there. You would
you don't have any option.
Make use of the money you spent out there. But it's a very different ball game when you are sitting on your laptop, on your phone, or on your TV set. You have an option to change.
Right.
So you could change the content in 5 minutes if it doesn't engage you. So I think the medium of telling a story on OTT is very different. We are still getting used to it. I think we were the early movers in that game. I personally thought of it as an opportunity and future, and I think we trained ourselves. We learned a lot looking at the West, how they were doing things, and I think over a period of time we've kind of gained knowledge and experience, and that's what we want to take forward now.
So what is the next step? Are you planning to come up with some new projects for women orientation?
So we are working. Most of our story by default have women protagonists. So we have a couple of films, series. There's a series called My, which is on Netflix, which will be out, somewhere a couple of months' time. Yeah. And we have a film called Kala. Which Anvita, who directed Bulbul for us, she's made that film, and that again should be out in 2-3 months' time. So, and we've got a pipeline of stories which are, which have women at forefront and campaigning it.
And recently, Clear Slate signed the contract with Netflix and Amazon Prime also.
We signed up.
And if I'm not wrong, it's almost $54 million.
Yes. It's with various platforms, and there are about 8 titles. Some of which I don't have the liberty to speak about. Okay. Couple of them I spoke to you about. We have a film with Anushka in it called Chakda Express, inspired from the life of a top female cricketer in our country, Jhulan Goswami. That's a very exciting story.
People are eagerly waiting for that.
Yes, and it talks about women's cricket, which hasn't been spoken about much, and their struggles, and it's about finding agency in a man-dominated world. So I think it's a very inspiring story, and I hope we can do justice.
Definitely. You are also launching to Irfan Khan's son.
I wouldn't say we are launching, but yes, Babil, a very talented young boy. I think he's done a really good job in the film. Very excited for him. I think he's a great talent. He's doing a lot of other work as well, but yes, you would see him in color.
Great. So, you have any plan to come up with a OTT specifically for the women?
Yes. So, like we said, for us, it is natural. That progression for us is towards having an ecosystem where we can tell women's stories at a larger scale than what we are doing. So there is a definite plan to. It is a world first in that sense. It's world first female OTT, which will focus on telling female stories, not just from an stories and the whole ecosystem where women are participating in the process of storytelling. So you would have women's stories by women, you would have women's stories by men, you would have women participating in every aspect of filmmaking, finding better agencies there. And that's something really exciting for us, and that's something we're really looking forward to do. I think we would be live by the first quarter of 23.
Great. All the best for that project. And my last question, which always gives me excitement, the Clear Slate logo, the smiling donkey. Sometimes it comes in red color, sometimes in blue color.
Yeah.
What is the philosophy behind that donkey?
So it's a zebra.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay. That's okay. That's all right. So, but the idea behind the logo is also the Clean Slate stands for starting something fresh every time you start something, without having a prejudice of previous work. So whether good or bad, we want to leave the baggage outside. So if you see, even in the zebra, he comes on the stage, and as soon as his baggage is dropped off him, he flourishes.
He's flourishing.
So that's the idea behind. A little bit of fun, little bit of comic to it, and that's what it is.
Thank you. Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure for us, and definitely all the best for your new project, and it's really appreciating like the way you are projecting to the women in the not only the film, somehow film is reflecting into the society.
Yes.
So in the longer term, it's going to be a game changer for the society also.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.